Yo, my people, it's the Cypher Plug, and I hope everyone's ready with your lube and getting ready to get bent over by the state because, as you've seen in the start of the video, the UK government is going full head steam with central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, the Orwellian nightmare, a digital slavery system essentially. It is absolutely fucking mad what this thing is. And I'm going to break it down in this video why it's mad, why you should be afraid, and we'll touch on what we can do to look for an escape and how to make sure you're not trapped in a system where your financial sovereignty is dictated by some bureaucrat, some fucking twat sitting in an office somewhere in London, pressing buttons on a screen. That's right, people. The beginning of the end days are coming. The end of freedom. CBDC is coming soon to an Orwellian state near you. And what do I mean by end of freedom? I mean the end of your, mine, everyone else's financial sovereignty. Which, in this day and age, let's be real, without money, you don't have freedom. You can't do anything, right? So, if you take away your financial sovereignty, what the fuck do we have? So, instead of how it currently is, with the banks generating money out of thin air and the Bank of England essentially setting the monetary policy, the monetary supply. Um, it's now all going to be controlled by the Bank of England or whichever central banks in your country, and they'll have full control and full authority over all your incomings, your outgoings. They will be directly depositing money into your accounts, into your digital wallet, and on the flip side, they can also switch it off just as easily as well for whatever fucking reason they seem fit. And to fully understand the absolute depravity of what this demonic invention is, we might have to have a small conversation about what money is. And money traditionally is something that is anonymous to use, cash, or prior to that, gold, or even prior to that, bartering goods, seashells, whatever a community or a population of people agree on as a form of currency, it has historically tended to be anonymous. You can take cash, you can go into a shop, you can buy whatever. No one will know whose hands the cash went through. Obviously now we're sending digital online payments through banking apps, banks transfer, for example. You do lose that anonymous value of cash, but cash is still fungible, and you could always withdraw cash from an ATM, and you can always spend it anonymously, right? Not with a central bank digital currency, because now the money is programmable essentially. So if you have £2,000 in savings and the government or the Bank of England decides then that there isn't enough velocity in the economy, therefore they need to stimulate the economy by setting expiration dates to your savings or your salary. So they can set a policy, just a bit of code, to essentially switch off your money after a certain period of time and make it void, invalid, so you wouldn't be able to spend it anywhere. This is the levels of absolute fuckery we're talking about here. And the scariest thing about all this is just the thought, the mere idea of the government switching off your money to stop you buying a certain product or good, whether that's meat. We've seen a big push for insect protein and weird shit like that. In the future, we could have a situation where the government stops you buying more than, let's say, I don't know, a couple 100 grams of meat a month, a year. You could only be able to, if you try to buy one more steak than you're allowed to, your money is switched off, right? It could be quotas on traveling, carbon quotas, driving. Even if you've hit a certain quota of carbon emissions, you try to purchase another flight ticket, immediately turn off. Not able to make that purchase. Or if you try to fuel up in a car, it's an electric car, and you've done too many miles, for example, you've hit, it's fucking crazy to even think about these scenarios, but I'm telling you, people, it's coming. So the best thing that we can do is prepare. So what options do we have then? I did touch on earlier in the video about solutions or potential escape routes, and there aren't many. There aren't many at all, but we will get into them. But I would just like to remind people that I am not a financial investor. I am not here giving financial advice. All this information is for educational purposes only. Right, when we're talking about solutions here, it is depending on obviously how much disposable cash you have, how much you have saved. I would always recommend, especially in the UK, as a number one solution for people is to get on a property ladder if possible. I do understand it is ridiculously unattainable now for the majority of young people, especially in this country. But if there's any means or any way that you can get yourself into the property game, it's a safe bet to at least keep yourself secure from someone taking, your purchasing power away from you. At the very least, you have a roof over your head if you're not able to buy meat. And if you're sitting there thinking, I don't fucking have anything near to buy a house right now, well, there's still luck. We still have some things that you could potentially hedge yourself with. For me, it's all about bearer assets. A bearer asset is something that doesn't require a register to own. So anyone can hold the asset, anyone can redeem it, and anyone can exchange it. And you should be able to do it without any third party or any authority signing it off. So examples of a bearer asset, the most popular famous examples include gold, cash, coins, and as of recent times at least, digital bearer assets such as Bitcoin and Monero. So to start with, I would advise people just to hold on to as much cash as they possibly can. Get it out of the banks. If you're holding stocks, probably get it out there as well. And literally old school shit. Cash in your Nike shoebox under the bed. You know why? Because it's getting harder and harder to get cash. Banks are closing left, right, centre all over the high street. Banks are imposing limits on withdrawals. They don't want people to. They don't want to start a capital flight leaving, and most people are just cash strapped at the moment, which you know will kind of lead to people hoarding onto the rest of it, in my opinion. And historically, whenever you set prohibition or you set controls or you outlaw products, goods, services, demand doesn't just diminish out of nowhere. Therefore, in the future, in a totalitarian state uh, environment where all transactions are monitored and you cannot make purchases as you usually would, I do believe, I strongly believe that there will be a circular black market, a completely circular parallel economy to the regular tracked government economy, right? Where cash will thrive, gold, silver will thrive. I believe certain cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Monero will also thrive because you wouldn't be able to get these goods and services with a digital pound or a CBDC equivalent. Now, this channel is not a channel for moonshot crypto kiddies because 99% of crypto of the space is quite literally a pump and dump scam fest. So I would steer clear of everything other than Bitcoin and Monero, to be honest, because those two actually have utility, they have value. And this isn't a crypto video, but maybe in another video I can go over the difference between the two of those. Essentially, Bitcoin, digital gold. However, it is fully transparent. It's a public ledger that's open to audit for anyone in the world to see. So you can go on a transaction explorer and you can literally trace any transaction back to the original point. The best way to think about Monero is Bitcoin, but private. And banks, rather governments, states, fucking hate privacy. This whole video is about the erosion of your financial privacy. So, folks, in conclusion, cash, gold, silver, Bitcoin, Monero, property, bearer assets, goods, any of those essentially is you're going to be your lifeline in the next 5, 10, 15 years. Um, I will be touching on the rest of these topics, speaking more about Agenda 2030, um, the race for the rest of the world to basically lockstep implement CBDCs and have uh, controls for passports, digital IDs. Um, there's just a whole host of absolute fuckery going on. But please do comment, like, subscribe. Please share this content. Please reach out if you'd like me to touch on other topics in a bit more detail. Um, any other video ideas. Um, yeah, just stay safe, people, and I'll catch you in the next one.